We just completed some pretty awesome buttonholes using the built-in stitch and the automatic buttonhole foot for following the exact size of this button. We're working on the Singer Heavy Duty 4452 sewing machine, but now it's time to sew the buttons in place. So I'm taking it out of my button whole foot, and now we're looking for the foot that has the little blue toes in your accessory bag, or maybe you store them in the accessory box. But these little blue toes are rubberized, and they're going to help grip the button when you are stitching a zigzag. Now, just a little side note, we have a course online that helps you expand the use of just sewing buttons on. We call it our Stitching Cosmos online course, where we do, we do like 25 different sewing techniques. And this one was one where we sewed the buttons on, but they were over some tassels we made. We do twin needle decorative stitching. We do bias binding. We do things with accessories that you can buy from Singer's website. We do couching. We work with decorative stitches, and you learn all of these great techniques. So we are doing something as simple as sewing a button on, but there are things that you can do so much more than beyond just fixing the blouse that had the button that came off. So just keep in mind that this machine is just the beginning of your journey, and we have 10 free videos below in the description that you can watch regarding what the Stitching Cosmos course is all about, and I hope you'll check them out. All right, so for this particular stitch, we are looking to do a zigzag. Well, how wide do you think those holes are? Are all the buttons different? Well, actually, they're not. About 99% of the buttons all have the same width. So stitch width is going to be about 3.5 to 4. Now those are millimeters, so that's why it's really kind of in that range is just fine. You can set your length to 0, but I'm going to go one step further because we just need the zigzag to go back and forth in the holes and not go or move the fabric. I like to actually lower the feed dog. So that's going to take one extra step, which I highly recommend, because even though your stitch length is at 0, these teeth right here still go like this underneath your fabric. They don't pull it, but they still come up and touch and bump it. And I don't like my buttons bumped. So slide off your accessory box, reach behind your machine, peek over the back side. There's a lever back here. And when you slide it towards the inside of your machine, you'll hear a click. The click lowers the teeth, and now they are lowered and out of our way. So they're not going to interfere with the putting our stitch into those holes at all. So then you're just going to come in and guide the needle down one of the holes. So you're probably noticing your needle is either hanging over on the left side or the right side. So mine today is starting on the left, so I'm going to hand deliver it into a left hole. Since this button actually has 4 holes, I tend to start in the ones closest to me, so that way when the foot comes down onto the button, it's sitting on as much surface area as possible. Now, speaking of foot sitting on the button, now it doesn't look like there's much room between the foot and the fabric because this button is quite thick. But you must reach behind the machine and actually lower the presser foot in place. If you don't, you're not going to get the stitch to be connected like you're expecting. Now, we're not done just yet. Take one full swing off to the side. Make sure you haven't made your width too wide and it hits the side of the button. And you can, once you've taken 2 stitches, you can easily step on your foot control and you're going for 8 to 10 stitches back and forth. You can do as many as you want, but that's about enough. Since this has 4 holes, I'm going to just bring my needle up to the top, lift up my foot, slide my button, so the needle, which now when I stopped actually is hovering above the right hole. So let's just see if I moved it far enough, barely, and test the swing. Oh, we got this. And then about 8 or 9 stitches. and it's good. So once you have taken this out, finish your stitch, you have the perfectly stitched on button to go with whatever you have done, maybe with buttonholes, maybe as decorative work, but it is so easy to do when you know how to set up your machine, and we definitely don't have to stitch buttons on by hand ever again.